Hello everyone, welcome back to another scrapbook process video and thank you for joining me again today. I wanted to show you the sketch that I am using and then also this extra paper. So not long ago with the Cocoa Vanilla collection, I used some photos that I have been just waiting for the perfect thing to add with them. Same thing with this photo. I have just been waiting for the right thing to use these with, and this Bella Boulevard to the Moon collection is the perfect thing to use. I pulled in that one background paper. I will say that that is not part of the To the Moon collection I showed you in the beginning. It is an older paper, but I loved the real kind of galaxy type look to it. And then I'm pulling out the rest. Everything else is Bella Boulevard. I am so excited. Wait till you guys see this layout. I love how it turns out. I'm so excited. So let me tell you these photos. Well, first I'll say I'm trying to find, I wanted that background paper to really be the star of the show. I wanted them to stand out. I wanted it to stand out. And I didn't want to cover up too much. And I am following that sketch that is Laura Whitaker, I believe that's her name. I'm so sorry, I forget names so horribly, but I'm using that sketch and going to mostly follow it. I'm mostly taking inspiration. The reason I wanted to follow that sketch is because of the circles that really kind of reminded me of like space and orbit. So you will see how I take that here in a few minutes. And these papers, I'm not measuring. I'm just cutting down to go along the left-hand side of the paper. So yeah, some of this galaxy paper gets covered up, but you can see there's still quite a bit that shows. And luckily, the color matches really well with this collection. I pulled out some punches because I thought I wanted to add just a little more interest to all the layers of papers on the left. And I decided on this one. I don't use this one often enough, and I just love it. You will not maybe notice, but I will tell you, I thought I punched it perfectly, but when I went to glue it down, I did notice that I missed like a big 1/4 inch of space on where it's like flat, like I didn't even punch it. I could have went back and either repunched it. I could have punched the other side of it, to be honest, and then just hit it. But I decided just to leave it and I put it on my layout. And to be honest, I think in the end, I completely forgot. I was thinking the whole time I would cover it up. I don't even remember if I cover it up. So don't be afraid to, I mean, if you punch something a little wrong, it's about halfway up that strip. So if you punch something wrong, don't be scared to use it. It's not totally ruined and it's not the end of the world. Just make it work for you. I'm inking all the edges with my black Close to My Heart ink, and I think this is probably where I discovered that I've messed up the punching. You can see there, I'm like, oh, oops. But I knew if I had put it back in the punch that I would have ruined it even more. So this picture, I was going to say these pictures, but I guess this is one of the times I actually am only doing one. These are books, and they have all the books at the school library, the moon, the earth, the sun, every planet. My son checked these books out all the time. He would take the moon and earth back and come home with Mars and Saturn. And then Mars and Saturn would go back and he would come home and he would almost be disappointed a little bit if they didn't have one of the books, you know, if he had to get a different book. I've read these books so many times. Now, the funny thing is I've read them so many times to him. Do you think I could remember the order of the planets? And they were in every book. Oh, it's funny, but whatever. I give up. Anyways, so this is pretty much going along with the sketch. Now on her sketch, she has stitching circles. Now I don't stitch a whole lot, but I am going to start because I'm so happy with how this turned out. Now I have this circle cutter. It's an old circle cutter. It doesn't work as well as the Creative Memories one, so I won't even shout it out, but it was a good circle size. And you can see what I'm doing here is I'm shifting it a little bit. I'm tracing it with my pencil and then I'm shifting it a little bit. I wanted 3 different circles and I planned on stitching. So I'm drawing the full-on pencil mark on there. Then underneath that, I have a close to my heart mat. I don't know if they still sell those anymore. Whoa, that went in really fast. But I wanted you to see what I'm going to do here is I don't even know the width, and I didn't measure, and sometimes they're bigger, sometimes they're smaller. You can see there, they're not even in the least. But I went all along all those circles. So there you can see. And again, I didn't measure. You don't necessarily need to measure. If you really, really want to measure it, that's fine. It would be really, I don't know how to tell you how to do it on circles. It'd be easier to do with straight lines. The only thing I kind of wish maybe is that I hadn't erased these pencil lines, because when I did the sewing, the circles sometimes wanted to run together. But I'm just doing a simple back stitch, I think they call it. I don't know. I'm not a sewing expert. But what I did was I had my husband, after I did those holes, we had to go to the grocery store, and I said, we need to stop by Michael's because I was out of my silver thread. And I got some silver thread, and look at that. I love it for space. So I want to show you here. This is the silver thread that I got, and I just got it at Michael's. It was like $2, but it was like 20% off everything. So, and that will go a long way. And so I sat there that night after we got home, and I'm sorry I didn't show the stitching, but it took me a while. But honestly, we watch shows together sometimes in the evenings, me and my husband. I just sat there while we were watching shows, and actually everybody was kind of going to bed before me. I'm like, I ain't going to bed till I finish this. But I am so in love with the stitching and the silver string. So I don't think that the silver string does really good in machines, but I am not the person to ask at all. So I was just happy to find I have some Stampin' Up! Silver thread, and if you guys know anybody who has a new spool of it that wants to sell it, please let me know. I tried buying one online, and the person said it was new. Unfortunately, it wasn't, and I was a little disappointed in that. So I would love more of the silver thread, but this silver thread works as well for, things like this. So like I said, I can't remember. My brain's going all over the place with this layout. Can you tell? But what my point was, the reason of doing the circle was like I mentioned, I felt like it was like the orbit of all the planets. And my original thought was I was going to add all the planets along the line, until I came to, first of all, they don't have all the planets, I don't think, in this line. And some, like the moon, was like a great big piece of chipboard, and they were bigger than I had anticipated. So that kind of went out, but I still figured, I'm still going to make it look like an orbit type of thing, and go from there. I have the word imagine there. Um, I just kind of liked that for a title. Just Imagine is going to be my title. And I guess I'm thinking for the title and the journaling to be, just imagine where you can go, with your life, all the things that you were capable of, and, things like that. So I think that's what I was originally thinking. And then I had mentioned I wanted to go all around the orbit to kind of make it look like an orbit, but I tried adding a few different things to different places, and it got too busy. And I didn't want to completely cover up that back paper, the galaxy paper. So I decided to just kind of stick with the trio, the triangle, and do 3 main clusters and fill those in. So there was the big planet on the left. Um, Also, sorry, I'm getting a little bit distracted and thrown off. There was those asteroid pieces, which I love because I kind of put those around in random places, like they're actually floating through space along the orbit. So I really like those. One of them was off that epoxy sheet, and I think the other 2 were just die cuts. And so I made sure to add one of those in each cluster. And then I also made sure to add some of these puffy stickers into each cluster, and then a planet or 2. I liked that one, it's to me, it's the sun shape. It's not maybe the sun, but it's close enough. So I added that one. I liked that red color for that other planet, made me think of Mars. So I put that in the top cluster up there. And some of these things are going to be popped up with foam tape and some of them aren't. I kind of, that just imagine, you can see that I've went ahead and added the word just on there, and then I have glued down the Imagine. The only thing I kind of don't like, and I didn't even think about it until I just now saw it, but the I, the dot to the I, right between the G and the N, I don't like how it kind of goes on that planet, but I didn't want to leave the I undotted. So I went ahead and put it on there. And then I noticed there was this cute space guy and this cute spaceship. And I figured, you know, it's all out in space. It's supposed to be along the orbit. So maybe I would play along with those. Now they're just sitting there right now. They're not glued down because I wanted a third one. I thought if I'm going to have two things orbiting, like I kind of made it, and to me it was like the spaceship is on there and the space guys out there. And yeah, they wouldn't be that far apart from each other in real life, but who cares? It was cute. It's like, that's my spaceship. And then, oh, there was a third one. I thought he was an ephemera piece, but so now there's a little astronaut and a spaceship in each cluster. So I thought that was just kind of cute. And then I'm just gluing down the last asteroid, and I'm going to add a few of the puffy stickers around. I kind of feel like this top cluster was a little wonky, but I was struggling with what to add because it goes over that pattern paper. And so I didn't want, you know, I didn't want it to get lost, but I also didn't want it to stand out so much. And I'm also looking at the colors. So the planet on the left and the word Imagine are both that blue color. So putting up that blue star up there kind of brings that blue color up there. And just little things like that, like adding yellows into each cluster. And, you know, that's what I think of when I do my clusters. So I just added a little bit here and there just to try to go along the orbit a little bit more, but not really fill it in with stuff. And here you can see I was playing along. I thought maybe I could really add a few more things, but it just didn't look right. I think it was just throwing me off. So I do, however, decide to add these little stars, and you're going to see here in a minute. Now, these stars I got at Michael's, and I think they're made for filling in shaker cards and things like that, but you can use them on layouts. I just took a lot of time, and it didn't really take that long, sprinkled them around, but they are so sparkly. You can see them there. I'm kind of shaking the paper to try to get the sparkle, and you still don't get the full like extent of the sparkle from them, but they really filled it in and made it feel more like it was definitely the orbit. They're shining a little bit more. And those are the stars. Again, I just got these at Michael's, so they come in a big container, but here's a couple close-up photos. I love this layout. I will leave a link below to where you can get this To the Moon by Bella Boulevard, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.